Michael.
Joseph, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks
Welcome
for
to
having us.
Centennial College. Welcome to the traditional lands of my people of the Anishinaabe. Today we're just going to be talking about the amazing stuff that we're doing here at Centennial College with myself as well as my partners with ICANN. Talk about Three Sisters, the community garden we have here, the hearth oven, and all the program that we have that incorporates a lot of Indigenous foods into the curriculum here, and the amazing baking program that we have here for the hearth oven. I'm really focused on the education side of the Indigenous storytelling. Nothing was ever written down for us. Nothing was ever passed down on a sheet of paper or birch bark writings or anything like that. It was all oral traditions and oral stories. So I'm trying to decipher all of those stories and to create, using local and sustainable ingredients, like the Three Sisters, and try to redefine what Indigenous food is to the culinary students that are taking part here at the college. So the Three Sisters is the corn, beans, and squash. So you have your beans, usually just like green beans that you would get, or some kidney beans or any type of like pinto beans and so forth. So corn, beans, and squash. So you got your corn, like your beans here, your corn. Traditionally, you would be using like your white corn or your tricolor corn, and to make, or your blue corn. But we have like some nice sweet corn here that we get in Southern Ontario that we actually probably harvested on our grounds here.
Out of the garden?
Out of the garden, yeah. And some squash. So more readily available these days is a butternut squash or your acorn squash, right? So that you can get.
And it symbolizes the symbiotic life that they share together in the garden.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What are we going to be cooking with all of these amazing ingredients that you've just pulled from the garden
Yeah,
right here at the college?
We had some nice eggplant, some green tomatoes, green beans, some sweet corn, and some squash. So we're just going to be roasting them off into the hearth oven here. We had this thing going since last night to get it nice and hot for everybody today. I would say it's probably about 600 degrees right now inside, like closer to the fire. So I'm gonna have some nice cast iron skillets here, because Grandma always said nothing tastes better than cast iron skillet, right? So
And grandmothers are always right.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
I'm just going to cut a little point-sized pieces out of here, and we're going to roast them off in the oven.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
So with the program that you're very much a part of, how is it going to tell the story of how the Indigenous cuisine has changed from yesteryear to today?
What we're trying to do here at the college is really try to help redefine what Indigenous food is. We try to tell a story through an Indigenous lens, through my own words, is something that I really thrive to do. Because I can't speak for anybody else, but other than myself, right? So I really try to tell the community and just the students and my son that we really only talk through our own words, because our own words is how we define everything in life.
What else are we going to throw into the pan to roast off?
Yeah, so I'm just throwing some nice green beans in.
How about I pick the beans there for you?
Yeah, so
it was a good growing season this year at the college?
yeah, it was. So a lot of stuff that we were growing here. Some stuff didn't take, but that's just the way it is with growing plants and raise your own crops, right? So
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. And they don't get fresher than that, right? Out of the garden.
Right out of the garden, right into your pan and right into the oven. Just a little bit of salt.
So that's it? Into the good hot oven?
Into the good hot oven.
There we go.
Nothing tastes better than on an open fire.
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chef. Look at that.
Yeah, so we have some nice roasted corn, beans, and squash. Just nice and tender. With cooking in such a hot oven, it doesn't take too long, right? So, but you get that nice smoky flavor, right? So,
absolutely. Just the brightness of the colors, I'm sure the contrast of the flavors of each of those ingredients just shines.
Yeah.
And as you said, super hot oven imparts flavor, and it's really easy to do.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And they're fresh too, right? Freshly picked from the garden.
Nothing but a little oil and a hit of salt.
Yeah.
So what other things do you do as a educator, as a culinary chef at a hospitality school? How do you go about inspiring the young cooks of today and the young hospitality individuals that want to get into the industry?
Yeah. Just by going out and doing a lot of community initiatives, right? So talking to industry leaders like yourself, and a lot of the chefs here come from a huge industry background. So talking to them, getting to know them and their stories, right? And letting the students know our personal journey on what brought us into the school. That we're not just showing up to a classroom like, oh, there's a chef in whites, right? A nice pointy white hat on, white clothes, he's proper. You just need to know his name and get through the day, right? So we like to get to know our students, and the students get to know us of where we come from, because it creates that personal relationship. And I find that students and just people in general, they tend to absorb more information the more they get to know somebody. And teaching students this kind of stuff of how to properly harvest and how to do it sustainably and ethically, so that so future generations can benefit from it as well. So creating that dialogue with them and giving them the opportunities to take part in the Royal Winter Fair, to see what they're doing outside of just being a fair of showcasing animals, of what it used to be, to showcasing our foods and where it comes from. We're in the early stages of developing little small courses for the college that we're hoping that we can branch into a bigger program over here, featuring Indigenous stories and Indigenous histories. So we're really trying to focus our efforts on how can we better our students right now, and then we can start branching out to do other things for the community, right? So I am a strong believer that in order to help heal the world, you should start in your community first.
Well, I have to say, Chef Joseph, it's been absolutely fabulous preparing this humble, simple dish and cooking it in a very unique and traditional way.
Thank you so
Been
much.
absolutely
for coming.
fabulous.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. I gotta have a piece of this squash.
Okay.
Look at that. That is gorgeous.